4 weeks, an uncomfortable silence has surrounded the Springboks camp. Not the kind of silence that comes with confidence or calm preparation, but the kind that fuels speculation, anxiety, and tension among fans and pundits alike. South Africa's rugby world has been buzzing with unanswered questions about leadership, direction, and what lies ahead for the reigning world champions. And at the very center of that storm stood one man, Siya Kolisi. Kolisi, the face of the Springboks, the double World Cup winning captain, and arguably the most influential leader in modern South African rugby, had gone quiet. No interviews, no statements, no clear indication of where he stood amid growing debates about squad balance, leadership continuity, and Rassie Erasmus' next big move. That silence alone was enough to make people uneasy. When a player of Kolisi's stature stops talking, it's never meaningless. Rumors began to spread. Some claimed internal disagreements. Others whispered about tactical differences behind closed doors. There were even suggestions that Kolisi's role within the group was subtly changing, not publicly announced, but felt. The media speculated. Fans argued online. Analysts read between every possible line. And through it all, Kolisi said nothing. Until now. When Kolisi finally broke his silence, it didn't come with fireworks or dramatic gestures, but his words landed like a thunderclap across the rugby landscape. Calm, measured, and unmistakably deliberate, his message instantly shifted the tone of the entire conversation. This wasn't damage control. This wasn't a routine captain's comment. This was a statement that forced everyone to stop and listen. What made his words so powerful wasn't just what he said, but when he chose to say it. At a moment when pressure is building, expectations are sky high, and the Springboks are being measured against their own historic standards, Kolisi stepped forward and reminded everyone what leadership in this team truly looks like. He addressed responsibility, unity, and the relentless demands of wearing green and gold, without naming names, without fueling drama, but with absolute clarity. Suddenly, the narrative changed. The tension that had been building didn't disappear. It transformed. Instead of uncertainty, there was focus. Instead of doubt, there was purpose. Kolisi's words reframed the situation, making it clear that whatever decisions are being made behind the scenes, they are part of a bigger picture, one that the leadership group fully understands and supports. And this is exactly why his voice matters so much. Kolisi doesn't speak often without reason. When he does, it's calculated, intentional, and aimed at the heart of the group, and the nation watching. His statement wasn't just for fans or journalists. It was a message to teammates, rivals, and anyone questioning the Springboks' direction. Before we go any further, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, because what Kolisi said opens the door to a much deeper story, one that connects directly to Rassie Erasmus' thinking and a plan that could redefine the Springboks in the months ahead. And trust me, the next part is where things really start to heat up. Kolisi's message reverberated through the Springboks camp like a seismic wave, and its implications were felt immediately. Behind the scenes, coaches, senior players, and analysts alike began dissecting every nuance of his words. "Earning your place again," he said. "The jersey comes before any individual." At first glance, it may sound like standard captain talk, but anyone familiar with Kolisi knows there is always intent behind every syllable. These weren't empty phrases. These were signals of a shift, a subtle, deliberate recalibration of his leadership role and the team's internal dynamics. Internally, players reacted in different ways. Some felt relief. The words confirmed that even at the highest level, accountability is alive and that no one is untouchable, not even the captain himself. Others felt uncertainty. The phrasing hinted that the status quo might not hold, and perhaps changes in tactics, selection, or leadership structures were imminent. A few younger squad members, observing Kolisi's stance, realized that the bar had been raised. No longer was experience enough. Performance, discipline, and alignment with the team's vision were now non-negotiable. From a tactical perspective, the statement also signaled a possible shift in the Springboks' strategic approach. Kolisi has always been central to the Springboks' forward-driven game and defensive organization. By speaking openly about collective responsibility and readiness to step aside if needed, he implicitly suggested that others might be expected to step up, not just in leadership, but in executing crucial phases on the field. Analysts immediately began speculating. Could this mean more rotation in key positions? Could it signal an upcoming rebalancing of the backline? Could Erasmus be testing the squad's depth under pressure? Every interpretation pointed toward a calculated shakeup. Media reactions were swift and intense. Headlines around the world ranged from admiration for Kolisi's honesty to questions about potential unrest in the squad. Rugby pundits debated endlessly on live broadcasts. Was this a prelude to a strategic pivot by Rassie Erasmus, or simply Kolisi reminding everyone of his leadership philosophy? Social media, of course, erupted. Fans analyzed clips, dissected his tone, and speculated on the wider consequences for selection and matchday decisions. Hashtags related to leadership, accountability, and Kolisi's future trended within hours, further amplifying the ripple effect of his words. But the deeper tension lay in the balance between risk and reward. Kolisi's candidness strengthens the Springboks in one sense, fostering trust, clarity, and shared responsibility, but it also introduces uncertainty. When a team's figurehead openly discusses accountability, it forces every player to confront their role and potential shortcomings. That pressure can inspire brilliance, or it can magnify cracks in performance. The management of this tension is now as critical as any physical training or tactical planning. What makes Kolisi's statement truly explosive is how it frames the team's next phase. It's not just a reflection on his personal stance, it's a strategic signal to everyone involved. Erasmus and the coaching staff now have the leverage to reshape roles, test leadership capacities, and implement tactical adaptations without the perception of authoritarian interference. Kolisi's endorsement of accountability gives the changes legitimacy, not as a coach's imposition, but as a shared vision endorsed by the captain himself. For viewers, fans, and rugby enthusiasts, this moment is electric. We're witnessing more than a player speaking. We're witnessing a culture shift, a redefining of leadership, and an implicit warning to the entire squad. The Springboks are evolving, and only those who adapt will thrive. If you've been following this story closely, hit that like button and subscribe, because the next segment reveals why Rassie Erasmus timed this decision now, the hidden strategy behind it, and what it could mean for the Springboks' international campaigns. The stakes could not be higher. While Kolisi's words captured headlines and set the tone for the squad, the real story lies in the timing and intent behind Rassie Erasmus' decisions. For months, observers have speculated about the coach's strategy, his unconventional methods, and his ability to manipulate the psychological landscape of world rugby. Now the pattern is becoming clearer. This is not a spontaneous reaction. This is a calculated message, carefully designed to communicate power, control, and vision without saying it outright. Erasmus has always been a strategist. His public pronouncements are rare and deliberate. His internal communications, even more so. Every word from Kolisi, every nuanced phrase about accountability, leadership, and responsibility, aligns seamlessly with the coach's larger plan. The timing was perfect. Just as international windows approach and critical test matches loom, the Springboks are being subtly reshaped from within. Erasmus isn't merely responding to immediate concerns. He's orchestrating a scenario where the team anticipates challenges before they arrive. The hidden message is multi-layered. On one level, it reinforces a culture of collective responsibility. On another, it signals that Rassie is assessing how players respond under pressure, particularly when leadership comes with transparency and accountability. Those who rise to the occasion, who understand the unspoken expectations, will find themselves in positions of influence and responsibility. Those who falter may face consequences sooner than anticipated. It's a masterclass in leadership psychology, influence through alignment rather than direct instruction. Tactically, the implications are significant. By positioning Kolisi as both a messenger and exemplar, Erasmus subtly shifts the weight of decision-making and leadership onto the players themselves. This isn't just about Kolisi speaking up, it's about creating an environment where initiative, adaptability, and self-accountability are tested under real-world pressure. The squad now operates in a higher-stakes arena, where mental resilience is as crucial as physical preparation. Opposing teams may sense the change in the Springboks' internal dynamics, but they cannot predict how it will manifest on the field, and that unpredictability is exactly what Erasmus wants. Strategically, Erasmus is playing a long game. Observers note that Ireland, France, and the All Blacks are all monitoring the Springboks closely. They watch for patterns, consistency, and vulnerability. By orchestrating internal realignment now, Erasmus ensures that his team is mentally primed for these challenges. Kolisi's words, seemingly simple, act as a shield and a spear. A shield by reinforcing cohesion and discipline, and a spear by signaling calculated disruption to any complacency within the squad. The message is subtle but unmistakable. The Springboks are evolving, and anyone who underestimates this transition does so at their own peril. Internally, the response has been mixed but intensely focused. Senior players recognize the brilliance of the maneuver. Younger players feel the weight of expectation. Analysts and media outlets dissect every interview, every training session, every subtle gesture. Social media explodes with speculation, and fans are left analyzing Kolisi's intonation, Rassie's expressions, and the possible domino effects on squad selection. The tension is palpable, but it is controlled, a deliberate psychological environment designed to maximize performance under scrutiny. And here's the kicker. Erasmus' timing also tells the world that the Springboks are not reactive, they are proactive. Every decision, every public statement, and every internal recalibration is part of a long-term strategy aimed at dominance on the global stage. This is the hidden layer of the plan. Make a bold internal move under the radar, let the captain communicate the culture publicly, and leave rival nations scrambling to interpret what's really happening. The brilliance lies in invisibility. The threat is there, the preparation is real, but the specifics remain elusive. Before moving forward, I have to ask you, what do you think this move says about the Springboks' chances against Ireland and France in the coming tests? Comment your thoughts below, because your opinion might just be part of this ongoing global conversation. Stay tuned, because the next section reveals why this seemingly subtle orchestration could change the Springboks forever, and which players are poised to either benefit or lose their place in a team that refuses to remain predictable. The consequences of this carefully orchestrated moment are already beginning to ripple through the Springboks camp, and they could be profound. Short-term, the squad now operates under heightened scrutiny. Every decision, every move on the field, and every interaction off it carries weight. Players who were previously secure in their roles now face a renewed challenge to prove themselves. Versatility, mental resilience, and adaptability are no longer optional. They are essential. Those who rise to the occasion will gain influence, trust, and potentially even new leadership responsibilities. Those who falter may find their opportunities limited as the team evolves toward a more flexible and unpredictable approach. Kolisi himself emerges as the ultimate beneficiary of this strategic recalibration. His words and actions have positioned him as both a guiding light and a benchmark within the squad. By speaking out, he reinforced his authority while simultaneously empowering the team to embrace accountability and self-leadership. At the same time, he sends a clear signal to international rivals. The Springboks are cohesive, mentally sharp, and prepared to operate at an intensity that few can match. For Kolisi, this is not just about surviving another season. It's about solidifying his legacy as a captain, a leader, and a player who shapes the culture of one of rugby's most storied teams. Looking beyond the immediate future, the medium-term implications are equally dramatic. Players like Damian de Allende, Franco Mostert, and Lukhanyo AM may find their roles expanded, taking on responsibilities that push them out of their comfort zones. Simultaneously, Erasmus' hidden strategy ensures that the squad's depth is tested without jeopardizing performance. Every adjustment, rotation, and tactical tweak is now informed by a dual focus: maximize performance on the field while cultivating the next layer of leadership within the team. The Springboks are no longer just preparing for the next match, they are preparing for the future of the program, one carefully curated decision at a time. However, the risks are real. Pressure can inspire brilliance, but it can also expose cracks. Miscommunication, fatigue, or overextension could undermine the very cohesion Erasmus has worked so hard to create. International opponents, aware of Kolisi's recent statements and the subtle internal shifts, will be analyzing every match, every set piece, and every defensive formation. Any misstep could be seized upon, amplified, and exploited. Yet that is precisely the challenge Erasmus is presenting to his players. Rise above, adapt, and dominate, or risk being left behind. The long-term vision is clear: a Springboks team that is more resilient, adaptable, and strategically unpredictable than ever before. A squad where accountability is ingrained, leadership is shared, and talent is leveraged intelligently across all positions. A team that can respond to injury, fatigue, or tactical surprises without losing composure. And at the heart of it all stands Sacha Kolisi, not just a captain, but a symbol of evolution, determination, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. For fans watching this story unfold, the excitement is palpable. Every training session, every press conference, and every match is now charged with new significance. The Springboks are no longer just competing. They are signaling to the world that transformation is underway, that the era of complacency is over, and that only those willing to rise to the challenge will wear the jersey with distinction. So, if you've been following this journey closely, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because this story is far from over. Kolisi's words, Rassie Erasmus strategy, and the evolving dynamics within the Springboks promise more drama, more surprises, and more historic moments in the months ahead. Stay tuned, something big is coming, and you won't want to miss a single second.